Were commissioned to you by the buildings that you're putting the mural on, or some commissioned by the city itself?
Some are, well, we get a lot of grants for a lot of our projects, for our larger projects, which might be local government, it might be the NEA, which has also funded us for projects that we've done in schools, which is the National Endowment for the Arts. And
Okay.
Another way is through foundations, like there was foundations who supported this painted tile mosaic that we did in the mini park. The Fleischhacker Foundation, for instance, and the Zellerbach, and then there was also a grant from the San Francisco Art Commission that also, so all three of those helped to support this project.
And also, you do take donations. If somebody out there
absolutely.
really loves the murals and thinks, this is a worthy cause to give some money to, I'm sure they can visit you at the website. We have that website right now, precitaeyes.org. You have a couple of things going on with Precita Eyes. Now, there's one, let me see if I can get this up here. It is the Street Art San Francisco. This is part of the Fridays at the DeYoung Museum.
Yes, it's called Cultural Encounters, and we have an event the first Friday of every month that is thematic around the chapters of the book that we just recently published, and has been launched since June of last year. And so it's been a wonderful experience to finally have this, after 14 years, to have a book about the Mission District murals, which includes not only Precita Eyes, but every other genre that you might come across in the missions, stickers, graph art, you name it, it's in there in the book.
Well, now that you brought up graffiti art and that, I know that there's a big back and forth between graffiti being seen as an art form and what's more like tagging or just showing ownership of a certain area. Could you maybe shed a little light on that for those that might not know what the difference is?
Well, graffiti art is a form of art it's like a mural. It's painted on the wall, but it's painted with spray cans, which is the preferred tool. This is like another kind of a paintbrush, and it has a different kind of a style to it. And I think a lot of them are very serious artists. A lot of the spray can murals that you do see, the large productions, are actually sanctioned and are with permission. And then, of course, and I think they're very valid and very beautiful pieces of artwork. And I was inspired by them when I started to see them in the early 80s, and actually started a urban youth arts program to have a place for youth who are involved in this art form to come together and share their ideas, and also to start giving them some, seeing if they're serious about doing art, and so a lot of them have gone on to art schools, and now they're teaching and actually establishing their own art centers, and which is fantastic. So there's a lot of really good stories that have come out of that. The tagging part, we don't promote or condone vandalism. The risk that a lot of the young people doing that, there's a lot of risks involved, and paying high fines, doing community service. It's something that is, a lot of people attribute to the blight in the city. What we're trying to do is to turn graffiti into art, but there's a social problem that exists, and we need more outlets for our youth to express themselves. And
isn't that the truth? Definitely. Now, if a youth wants to express themselves, how do they get a hold of you, and what are you going to have them do, or how can they participate with you?
Well, we have our urban youth arts program, which meets every Tuesday evening and on Saturday afternoons, and they have walls, and you can go out and do these things with permission and learn how to develop your own individual style, and work with our youth arts coordinators who have come up from those experiences.
And that actually gives you a lot of really good experience that you can then carry on with you in whatever art you go after.
They
Definitely.
become teachers of art and peace.
Excellent. Very good. We're going to take a look at the book here. Now, if you tell us a little bit about how long has this book been out?
It's been out since June of '09, and it took took us over 14 years to see it realized and for it to be developed. And it we didn't know how it was going to come out because we had, you know, hundreds of people who have contributed to it, hundreds of artists from. It's about the Mission Mural movement. It's pretty fantastic because it involves all of the different venues that you see in the Mission, and great artists who have contributed, and some great writers and poets who have contributed to the book. So it's very, very rich, and I encourage people who want to know more to get a hold of this book. It's available at our art store at Precita Eyes Mural Arts and Visitor Center on 24th Street.
It's on 24th and
Harrison. 2981 24th Street.
Excellent. Very good. So where do you see Precita Eyes heading? Where is the next big project that you're interested in accomplishing? Is there a building that you're really dying to get your hands on?
Well, it's funny because sometimes I see walls that I really love, and you know, a year or two they're calling me up and they're requesting a mural. So I think that's amazing that, you know, this path has led me to bringing those kinds of opportunities to me and to our organization. But you know, we have a lot on our plate right now. We're going to be doing a community mural with children, youth, and adults for the General Hospital for their new building.
Oh, wonderful.
For the barricade, which is going to be there for 6 years. So we're looking forward to getting started on that right away. I'm doing, we're just finishing the design for a new painted tile and mosaic mural for the new Chinatown YMCA swimming pool.
Mm-hmm.
So these are wonderful projects that have, you know, that we've been called upon to work with communities in realizing, and we're looking forward to them.
So is there, if you have an influence, I think when I see the murals, for some reason I see Diego Rivera influence in the way that you see people interacting in their daily lives there. It's not just something that's all celebration. There's a lot of work, and it shows struggle, you know, happiness, celebration, all aspects of life in your murals. Is there a certain artist that has inspired you, or someone that you tend to look up to?
Well, I think my inspiration originally comes from the women muralists. I mean, the Mujeres Muralistas, who were painting murals in the early 70s, were my original inspiration, and what I continue to practice today, which is the collaborative community mural process. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, and then there's all these great women who have, I think the Bay Area has more women muralists in the Bay Area than probably anywhere else in the world. So I'm inspired by all of them that have contributed and continue to do their work. And then beyond that, I really appreciate indigenous people's art. Mm-hmm. And it's a great influence on me too.
I wonder sometimes, you're saying that there's more women muralists. Is that because you think that, or maybe it's just me adding this in, that women as a whole tend to include each other and participate in communicating to each other more and sharing together and their experience and their emotions, and that it's easier to collaborate on a piece of art, whereas if you have more of a male image, you know, they want to create their piece. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Maybe I'm being very sexist right here. I'm not really sure.
Well, I'm not sure. I think that may have something to do with it, that we tend to share more and want to collaborate. I mean, I haven't seen a mural that's been done by just all men, mm-hmm.
you
know, yet. But I imagine that will come with all the young people who are coming up and wanting to collaborate and do great things in the future.
That's wonderful, and that's what our city is all about.